What are some good examples for biology majors? Which, in this sense, you should think about what you want to do with your biology degree, but also you're sort of in luck in regards to healthcare industries or the healthcare industry is growing and companies are looking to hire. I've been seeing pharmaceutical companies basically pop up everywhere. So, and they have really great internship programs as well with mentorships involved, contact with senior leadership. Um, and so that might be sort of a good thing for you to look into as well when thinking about internships for biology majors. Another thing that I sort of want to talk about is just basically being personable as an intern. Sometimes it is a little bit awkward being an intern and working in a company where everyone else seems so much older, so much more experienced than you. And you know, it's a good thing to keep in mind that you're just like anybody else who works at the company. Dress the part, learn everyone's names, and kind of like leave a lasting impression after talking to someone. Find out what they're interested in, and sort of if you come up with ideas, you can kind of gear it towards the conversations that you've had with these people in the past as well, and that really helps in regards to forming a connection, networking, and also finding your future mentors as well. Um, Networking is another important thing. You should always try to go to all the networking events that your company hosts. You should try to go to as many conferences or presentations that's available to you when it comes to your company being involved with any of these networking events. You should go to those and make sure you are as personal as you can be, and also just keep a watchful eye out for the other people in your department as well. See how they interact with one another. Um, See what the communication style is like. See how they dress in general. See what protocol is like in regards in your office on a day-to-day basis. Um, and you should follow suit in regards to that. When it comes to your immediate boss, you should also follow suit in regards to how they communicate. Different people have different communication styles, and usually we go from one boss to the next thinking that everyone communicates the same, but this is not always the case. And if your goal here is to get a full-time job, then you must show over and over again that you can adapt quickly, learn your boss's communication style, and also learn how to make their lives easier. Um, I talked about this a little bit in the beginning, but I'll discuss it again. Um, the rankings for different internships is a really important thing, and it really does give you a glimpse at what the internships offer, and gives you can also compare it to what you want out of your internship as well. Um, I use Glassdoor.com a lot to get employee reviews. You can go there. There are reviews from interns and employees. They usually list um, salary, they usually list the pros and cons, and you can sort of get different perspectives depending on the different positions in the company as well, and see if there's any repeated type of messages as well. So I think that's really, really helpful because a lot of other rankings and listing, they just list basically the what internships are best, but don't really give you um, much more information than that. You can always um, call up someone who you know has been a former intern, which is what I did with my first internship in New York. As I called up the person who was interning at the company, choosing between two different internships. And this gives you a lot of insight as well, firsthand account from someone else. To see if it aligns with your own what you want out of the internship as well. So another question that I've gotten from Sonia: how do you maintain an internship in the fall and spring while you have classes going on? So this is very difficult, but most of the time, especially if you work there during the summertime, you can let your immediate boss, your superior, know that you want to stay on for the spring or the fall, but you have classes, and you can kind of work it around your schedule. Like, say you only have classes Monday, Wednesday, Fridays, you can intern for Tuesdays and Thursdays, or you can intern for a few hours every morning if you have afternoon classes. Um, but the point here is not so much how many hours you can put in, because in this scenario, your employers know that you're in school. But the bottom line for this, for interning during the fall and the spring, is to show initiative and to show that you're willing to, go basically out of your way, even though you have a really busy schedule, and show that you're really um, interested in working for the company in the long run. Um, so you can work that out with your boss, and it is difficult, but I've had many internships in the fall and the spring, and they've always worked out to my advantage. Um, and again, your employers know that you're in school at the same time, so they're not expecting you to be there 8 hours a day. This also, again, the fall and the spring also gives you a chance to really, really stand out. And, there's not as many interns there. You can also network a lot more during the fall and the spring. Um, and for a lot of companies also, the summertime is usually a little bit slower. So in the fall and the spring, there's typically it's a busy schedule. They don't have as many interns. This gives you a really big opportunity to shine and to stand out and to get to know your employers, get to know the senior leadership of the company, find mentorships, and also gives you an opportunity to become really close to another intern, who inevitably will be your peers and your colleagues for years to come. Your college campus can also be a really good place to basically get information from. Lots of college career advisors and counselors will sort of point you in the right direction. However, it is up to you to do the research, to reach out, to sort of get your foot in the door. Um, and I highly recommend anyone to basically call up the employer, or call up whoever is in charge of the internship department and really get an idea of what they're expecting out of interns there. During your internship interview, you should treat it like a job interview as well. Come in really prepared. Do your research ahead of time on the company. Know exactly what you want to get out of your internship, and also always have questions to ask as well. This really shows initiative, when someone has a question to ask, and it also shows who you are as an individual as well. The questions that you show convey what you're interested in. So be sure to treat the internship interview process like a job interview process. Um, and in actuality, the bottom line is to treat the entire internship as a as a real full-time job. And another thing that I should emphasize is basically making that connection with your immediate boss. You should connect with them on LinkedIn, if you can. Make sure they will remain a reference for you, to provide a recommendation whenever you need them to. Um, Also, if you're interning as a freshman or a sophomore and you don't actually need a job right away, having them on your side is, being close to your immediate boss after ending your internship really will make a big difference in the long run. They can keep an eye out for you. They can let you know when a full-time position is opening up. They can let you know if any other opportunities, entry-level opportunities that they know elsewhere. It really works to your advantage to get to know your immediate supervisors. This question is from Ian. Can you get an internship while still in high school? Yes, you can actually. Right now is the perfect time to basically get an internship when you're younger, because it's not so much getting a job, and getting an internship is not so much based on your education anymore, how old you are. It's really based on your experience and what you want to do. So getting an internship while you're in high school actually gives you a leg up when you're ready to get a job in a few years. And also, it works to your advantage as well, because you're getting a lot of real world experience. In today's business world, it doesn't matter that much anymore, actually, when it comes to your degree, or where you're going to school. And it's really, really focused on real world experience and getting internships. So basically, the more internships you get, the better your chances are of getting a job when you're ready, and the better the chances are of getting a job that you're interested and passionate in once you're ready as well. And make sure that when you are an intern for a company, and you're working in something that you're not completely interested in, um, you can always ask to see if, um, of course, you have to finish your responsibilities and what you were hired to do first, but you can always ask to see if you can help out in other departments as well. Other departments, or ask if you can help out with a project of another department that you hear about, through networking. You wouldn't hear about these projects if you didn't network. But once you learn about them, you can always ask if you can help out. And this also shows initiative. And this also shows that you're committed to basically making the company a better place. So Ian asks again, how do I ask employers if they can put me on a list? And why do most say that internships are mainly for college students? Many internships, they do say that they're for college students. It's usually because the idea is that the age brings maturity, right? And that's inevitably what employers want. Um, if you are a high school student and you really, really want to get an internship, you really have to explain and prove that you're capable of doing the responsibilities, doing the duties, doing the job. How do you do this? Are you in any type of organization, or are you in, do you volunteer? Are you in any clubs that show that you can do the job? Also, you should think about giving reasons as to why you want an internship while you're in high school. If you can convey that message, you have a much better chance of getting an internship as at a younger age. How do you ask employers if they can put you on the list? Well, the only way you can do this is if you know them, basically. And this comes with networking and doing a really good job um, while you're working for someone. Um, they will go out of their way to help you if you have proven yourself, and if you've shown that you're a really committed individual and you're an overachiever. Basically, is when employers will definitely put you on the list. We've had I've seen people who have, basically been interns here, and didn't get a full-time job right away because we didn't have an opening, and went to work somewhere else. And then as soon as we had an opening, we communicated, reached out to them, and now they're working here. So if you're doing a good job, people will notice and people will keep you in mind. Where's the best place to look for an internship, and what's the difference between an internship and a job? So, the best place to look for an internship, again, I would say, is to start with the rankings that I mentioned before. Um, and usually, you can, again, Glassdoor, US News and World Report, Business Week, Princeton Review. These are all great places that have, they, they publish internship rankings all the time. This is a really good place to start. Once you see a company that appears over and over again, you should dig a little bit deeper, do more research on those companies, see if it's a culture fit, see if what they can offer you in the internship program is what you need right now. And basically doing a lot of research. That's the best thing when it comes to finding an internship that works for you. What's the difference between an internship and a job? Well, it's really, for you mentally, you probably shouldn't think that there is a difference, because if you treat the internship like a job, then others will also treat you like you're a full-time employee, which inevitably might up your chances in getting the job at the end of your internship. Um, but the difference is basically, you're uh, not getting the benefits of a full-time employee if you're an intern, and your tasks are a little bit are typically not as intense as a full-time employees. But who knows, if you're working for a startup these days, interns are expected to perform in the same way that full-time employees are expected to perform as well. Sonia asks, is there a difference between a mentorship and an internship? Um, yes, there is. And there's also assistantships, apprenticeships as well. And those are very similar to internships. When it comes to a mentorship, this is a relationship that you have with someone that is connected to your industry, or someone that's not specifically connected to your industry but can help you professionally in some way. Mentorship is really, really crucial. There's a lot of sites out there that will allow you to basically get mentorships from really famous people, really successful people, by listening to them talk, sending in questions, and they'll answer them. Label League is a site that does this a lot. They have uh, um, different successful people come on and give mentorship talks to younger people and give them advice. But then also, aside from those people, you should also really, really look for mentorships in someone who is your peer, and also someone who is a lot older than you. Not like a lot, but a few years older than you, and also people who are decades older than you as well. You wouldn't believe the things that you learn from these people. They can show you the ropes. They can introduce you to other people. They can let you know mistakes that they've made when they were your age, and you can kind of avoid those mistakes if you can. Um, and also, you should also look into mentoring someone else as well, because when you're mentoring someone else, when you're teaching someone else, you're always teaching yourself as well. So that's something to look into. Um, when it comes to mentors, again, they always look out for job opportunities for you, openings. A lot of the best job opportunities or openings are ones that people will tell you about without actually being posted online. So in this situation, the best thing you can do is get to know as many people as you can, network with as many people as you can, find as many mentors as you can, and basically, that's how you'll hear about these opportunities. It takes a lot of work and a lot of time to put into a mentorship type of relationship, but it's definitely, definitely worth it. I mean, think of it as a friend who just is able to give you limitless professional advice, um, that you don't have to pay for. So it's great. Ask these people if they're older than you, or a leader at your company or your superiors. Ask them out for coffee. Um, Ask them out for lunch, and to talk about what their interests are. Once you start talking to other people about what their interests are, they'll open up to you because you're taking an interest in them. This is another way of showing that you're committed. This is another way of being charismatic. You can see that Some of the most successful leaders are the ones who are charismatic and who are the ones who can convey that they're interested in other people. Um, if you ask someone from your company to coffee or lunch and ask about them, they will try to help you out as well. So this is definitely time and effort that is well spent. Another question I'm getting is, do more colleges just focus on test scores or do they prefer work experience? Um, so here I don't know if you mean colleges or um, employers focus on test scores or prefer work experience. Um, okay, so colleges. Do more colleges focus on test scores or do they prefer work experience? Well, um, I think when it comes to academics, colleges are focused on test scores. They're also focused on your leadership qualities as well. And work experience is proving that you have leadership qualities, especially if you're, if you're getting all these internships and you're in projects and work in a way that conveys that you have a lot of leadership skill sets and you've learned a lot of leadership skill sets. And I think a lot of colleges and universities these days are sort of moving away from just rating a potential student or a student only on test scores alone. They will look at your resume and they will test you for leadership qualities as well in regards to how well you speak and how well you do with critical thinking type of tests. So it's not so much like it was a few years ago where basically um, your test scores were the only things that mattered. Um, so another question that I'm getting is um, talking about how bad the economy is. So what's the advice for young teenagers these days? Uh, the advice that I have is since the job market and the economy is, uh, you can say it's unstable. So it's not so much like, if you go to college and you finish college, you'll 100% guaranteed a job. Since it is unstable, you have to find your own path, basically. You have to show that you are driven and you have to show that you're competitive. How do you do this? I think a really great way of doing this is with internships, joining clubs, but definitely internships. They will get you so far. Um, I can't imagine someone entering the job market today without ever having an internship. Internships will turn into jobs, and if they don't turn into jobs, then they turn into great relationships and mentorships that you'll have with the people that you meet during your internships that will inevitably turn into jobs as well. Any good clubs that you recommend joining while in high school? Um, I think some good clubs that you could join to get ready in high school and in college would be clubs that convey that really build leadership qualities, right? Um, because although it will build your own leadership qualities, it also builds leadership qualities in other people, and these are the people that are good to know in the long run. They'll be your peers, and maybe they'll be your peer mentors as well. Some good clubs would be the debate club or any type of sports as well. I think builds a lot of endurance and leadership qualities. Um, I don't think that there's anything that doesn't look good when it comes to joining clubs um, in high school or college or extracurricular activities. I don't think that it doesn't look good, but I think that if you're going to join something, make sure that you can convey or you can show that it helped you build more leadership qualities? And I keep saying leadership over and over again because that's what employers want to see. Like they want to they want to hire someone who's not going to they're not going to have to put so much time and effort into training, into becoming this. They want leaders to join their team because you can teach someone the skill sets, you can train someone, but if they're leaders, then they're really going to um, take the responsibilities head on. So that's what companies want, no matter whatever the industry it is, and no matter what industry you're going into or what position you're seeking. I think all companies really, really want leaders. Even colleges and schools, like business schools, and are really, really focusing on leadership nowadays. How are they doing that? They're testing for emotional intelligence. They're testing for, they want you to send in video uh, applications basically to see how you do in regards to your leadership qualities. So, whatever, looping back around, whatever clubs and organizations, extracurricular activities that you want to get involved with, the best thing to do is to show that there is some type of um, something tying it all together, and that comes back to leadership qualities. If you can convey that, hey, I learned this and this and this, and I achieved this and this and this while I was involved with this organization or involved with this club, that really, really shows um, your employer what type of person you are, and it really, really sets you apart. And I think in this economy, that's what you want. You want to stand out, and you want whoever's interviewing you to think that you're different than the last person that they just interviewed. So don't think about it too much. But when it comes to clubs and extracurricular activities, really focus on the ones that you think it's going to teach you something. Don't join every club and organization you possibly can because you think that it's going to help you get an internship or a job in the long run. It's better to show it's better, they always say quality is better than quantity. So um, join a few, do really, really well in them, and you should be well off. Again, the same with your internships. When you're searching for internships, um, focus on a few internships, do your research, reach out to them, find out which ones you think would be best for you, and apply to those internships and really, really go for it. Instead of just sending out a bunch of resumes. You'll find that if you do that, you will find an internship most likely, and you will get an internship, but maybe you won't learn anything. Maybe it won't fit with your career path. Maybe you'll waste 3 months, and all you'll be doing is getting coffee for someone. So you don't want to do that. In that scenario, you'd be better off volunteering for something or working in an organization with your college for a while to show that you've learned something. Um, just always remember that your time is valuable, so you really, really want to end up somewhere that fits with your cultural needs and also fits with your professional needs as well. Okay, great. Well, thank you so much. Let me see. Okay, I got another question about leadership, so I'm going to answer that one as well. Um, how does being in an internship show leadership in colleges? Um, I thought being an officer of some club or organization was the only way to show leadership and stand out. Most of my clubs had been team related. Okay, this is a really great question, actually. How do you show your leadership skill in an internship? You can actually show your leadership skill anywhere, but when it comes to an internship, the way you do this is, for example, you have a list of duties and responsibilities that is pegged on you, right? So those are the things that you need to do every day, your daily tasks, your monthly tasks, whatever it is. If you volunteer for different types of projects, if you help your organization with fulfilling completing a project that is a huge deal, You can put this on your resume. This shows leadership qualities. You can say, hey, this wasn't even my responsibility, but I volunteered for it, and now it is saving the company X amount of dollars monthly. Or you can say, I helped bring in this account for my company or the company that I interned with. Now, everyone who reads your resume is going to know that it's probably not your responsibility to do those things, right? But the fact that you volunteered for something, the fact that you went out of your way to do this really, really shows that you're a go-getter, and that's what employers want. Even interning during the fall or spring semester really shows that you're a go-getter as well. And this is difficult, but this really, really also taps into your leadership qualities. This really taps into conveying the message that you really, really want the job, which is it's a good message to convey. When it comes to clubs or organizations that have been more team related, that's understandable. That's the reason why you join a lot of clubs and organizations as well, right? Is to basically have this team mentality, and be able to work together, be able to work well with other people, which is a great quality to have. It's great when it comes to brainstorming. It's great in the real world when you have to work with people from all different types of cultures or countries. But the way that you can show leadership with this is to also volunteer for different leadership positions. Say your club or organization needs to fundraise for a certain event or something. You can volunteer to lead that up. Or say the club or organization's website's really horrible. You can volunteer to have a helping hand in that. You can volunteer to make it better. You can volunteer to help come up with new ideas, basically, when it comes to um, making your club or organization better. So definitely, I think that you can show leadership when it comes to these very team-oriented clubs and organizations. It's difficult and it's hard. The same way that standing out at an internship where there's at a company where there's 50 to 100 interns, that's very difficult and hard to stand out. But you can do it by volunteering and by really, really treating it as a job. I think you should treat everything as a job, even while you're in high school or college. Every club that you join, any organization that you join, treat it as it's a real job that you're a part of, and you'll find that a lot of opportunities will come to you. I think that's all the questions that I have for today. If you guys have any other questions, feel free to email me. I'm at V as in Vivian, GIANG at businessinsider.com, and I'll be happy to answer any of your questions about internships or employment opportunities, or college or your career. Feel free to email me, and good luck to you all. Bye bye.